Hi everyone, thanks for stopping by and seeing what I'm up to. My name is Silkyfeather and you can call me Silky. Let's hear what Kevin has to say. He said this is time-sensitive stimulus update for everyone.
Hey everyone, me Kevin here. This is a big but very brief and important video for everyone. In this video, I will cover important deadlines coming up and the latest stimulus news in addition to big stock market insights and mortgage forbearance rule changes and even retirement rule changes. So literally, there's something in this video for everyone. And if you like this content, please consider sharing it and make sure to check out that coupon code that is also available for everyone that expires tomorrow. Also, this is all original information, so I wouldn't be surprised if this ends up flooding everywhere else tomorrow, but my goal is to do research for you and provide it to you. So if you like that kind of work, hit that little like button. All right, first, deadlines. And by the way, I'm also going to segment this video, so if you want to go to like stocks, just look at the little scrolly bar and hopefully it shows up the timestamps, or look in the description below all the links for stuff and you'll see the timestamps as well. All right, deadlines. Number one, if you have not yet gotten your stimulus check, call this number, 800-919-9835. If you have not gotten your free $1,000 EIDL grant yet, because you're a gig worker, self-employed, 1099, make sure to email disaster customer service at sba.gov or call 1-800-659-2955. Both of these have expiration dates, so if you don't hop on getting your stimulus check, if you haven't gotten it yet, or your EIDL grant yet, you will lose that free money. That money is running out. So if you drive Uber, you're a landlord, you got a side hustle, you're a real estate agent, get the EIDL money. Number three, if you are also self-employed, the Paycheck Protection Program completely, like applications for it, expire on June 30th. That's coming up in a week. So hop on that, as well as the pandemic unemployment pay, where as long as you get in it before July 31st, you get retroactive pay. So if you're like, I'm not going to use the benefit for it, you get retroactive pay. Do it. When in doubt, apply for the unemployment. Now, updates from the people who matter, and then we'll get into stocks and real estate and retirement. Big updates as well. So, quick updates here. Look, on Monday we heard Donald Trump say, yes, we are, to additional stimulus checks. Well, now Treasury Secretary Mnuchin, who had also said yes to additional stimulus checks, is now kind of backstepping a little bit and saying, well, quote, we're going to take our time and make sure that we're thoughtful. Whatever we do, it'll be much more targeted, much more focused on jobs. This follows talk of, again, yes, to more stimulus checks, but also more talk about potentially limiting these stimulus checks to people who have either lost their jobs or people who have lower incomes than the thresholds before. So another stimulus check is looking more likely, but there is also more of a focus on cost now. The last round of stimulus checks cost $300 billion. The next round of stimulus checks would pay people about 25 to 30% more, which means it could cost upwards of $400 billion. And if they end up shaving those income limitations down, less people would qualify and might control the cost. So heads up, that change might happen. Don't count those chickens until they hatch. Larry Kudlow told Fox Business, I think there will be tax rebates or the direct mail checks on the table. It's interesting that he chose to use the word or. He either did that because he has a list of things on the table and he's kind of like, well, we got that, or we got that, or we got that, or we got that, because he does kind of talk that fast sometimes, or there's seriously an actual debate over doing like an Explore America tax credit versus the stimulus checks. That would blow my mind if that's what they're thinking of, and I think that would be an easy way to kiss the election goodbye, because that would piss a lot of people off. Now, remember, the next round of stimulus checks, you can guarantee, will be very election focused. So this is why I would not be surprised to see both. I'm just surprised he said or today. Now, let's talk on Fauci, and then we're going to talk on stocks and real estate and other important information that's coming up. Now, whether or not you like Fauci, he did say some very important things that are probably going to have market implications. Fauci is now warning that the next 2 weeks will be critical to slowing surges, which this sounds oddly familiar to the first time this happened like 3 months ago when we're like, 30 days to slow the spread. Now we're at 2 weeks to slow the surges. Now, he calls this, quote, a disturbing surge. And regarding deaths, because there's a lot of commentary, I read all of your comments. Thank you for leaving those, by the way. And this is why I always try to research answers for you all. And that's why we have this big kind of conglomerate video here. But regarding deaths, he actually mentioned that, yes, the death rates are falling, but he mentioned that deaths, quote, lag considerably behind cases. In other words, we might see a spike in cases now, but deaths might actually not spike for another 14 to 30 days. So right now we're thinking, oh, maybe the virus is less deadly, or maybe just younger people are getting it now. But we don't really have that answer yet because it might take 14 to 30 days after a surge to actually see an impact in deaths. And this, Mr. Fauci calls, quote, very troublesome. Now, we'll watch for a spike in deaths. Remember, you could always just Google coronavirus California deaths or cases or whatever state you're in, and you could see those charts right on Google. Now, this would be the perfect place to mention that if you have not considered getting life insurance yet and you have no idea how much it would cost you, it'll take you less than 3 minutes to get a quote, and you could sign up in as little as 5 minutes, and Apple Pay for it if you're fast. So use that link down below. While you're there, get 2 free stocks, 2 completely free stocks. All you have to do is click the little link for Webull, which looks a lot like this right here, and you can start buying and trading stocks using the Webull platform, and they'll give you 2 completely free stocks, which you could just sell if you want to after you deposit just $100. Okay, let's keep moving on. Okay, let's be real here. There's a massive infrastructure spending plan coming. We don't exactly know what it's going to be yet. We know Trump wants it. We know the Republicans aren't super excited about it in the Senate, but they'll probably end up doing something. And the Democrats just gave us a 2,300-page bill, which I actually went through the bill rather than just reading articles to regurgitate crap. I went through it, and I saw something that is very, very interesting. There is a lot of mention about incentives for electric vehicles, which, remember, electric vehicles are an umbrella term which also includes hydrogen fuel cell vehicles. So folks, if you are considering investing in Tesla or Nikola, you need to pay attention to this infrastructure bill. This could be a huge game changer. There are huge potential credits in this bill for solar, EV charging stations, which, again, hydrogen vehicles are EVs, and they do specifically mention hydrogen over 30 times in the bill. Energy-efficient vehicles are going to see more credits, and at the same time as seeing more credits for energy-efficient vehicles, specifically electric vehicles, there's some mention of propane, like buses, but mostly hydrogen and battery-operated vehicles. In addition to that, we're going to see more requirements for gasoline-engined vehicles, gas cars, normal cars, like basically making these gas cars, the normal cars, more expensive because they're going to have more requirements, like mandated requirements that when your car's idling, the engine shuts off. You kind of, when you're at the red light and you see like the Mercedes next to you always go, and then it kicks on right when the light turns green? Yeah, that's going to be a requirement in all cars, which you think is not that big of a deal, but it's going to bump up the price of entry-level vehicles. And when you look at California, you already have the Tesla Model 3 outselling the Honda Civic. If the Honda Civic becomes even more expensive now, this could be a potential boon of a bill, aka a really, really good thing for realistically both Tesla and Nikola. Watch this bill. But wait, and there's more for stocks, because maybe you're not interested in vehicle stocks. Well, I've got more for you. The Boston Fed's Main Street lending program is basically up and running now, and there are over 200 banks lending on this program now, and it's really just starting to rev up. This is really important because you have to look now for companies that have less than $5 billion in revenues and less than 15,000 employees. And you can now look at companies like that and basically assume that their bankruptcy risk has been eradicated, because rather than a company like Cheesecake Factory having to borrow money like Carnival Cruise Lines at 11% or some rip-off loan, this stimulus money, this Federal Reserve stimulus money, will give companies like the Cheesecake Factory cheap loans as cheap as 3 to 4% interest with 5-year terms, and they seem to be flexible as well. Think about this. This basically eliminates the bankruptcy risk for a lot of companies that could qualify for these Main Street loans because they don't have to go to the ridiculously expensive and publicly traded bond market. Some of these companies, by the way, include Dave & Buster's, Cheesecake Factory, the Marcus Corp., which is like a movie theater and hotel chain, KB Homes, which, let's be real, new construction housing is doing very well. They probably don't even need any of those. Tupperware brand, the Denny's, Redfin, which has like 4x since I recommended it like 3 months ago, which is crazy, and Spirit Airlines. Spirit Airlines, I think, is like one of the only airlines that qualifies because the other ones are too big. for Main Street loans. So these are all companies that should be eligible. You want to confirm this yourself for Main Street loans. And it still doesn't mean they're going to take it, right? It's still debt. But that gives you a safety net for bankruptcy, in my opinion, because it creates the opportunity for cheap loans for these companies. And this is one of the reasons I'm personally going big on companies like Redfin and Dave & Buster's. Now, if you have not yet, on the topic of real estate, taken mortgage forbearance, you're honestly probably leaving money on the table. But first, if you've liked this video so far, would you mind sharing it with somebody who needs it? I tried to make this a very detailed roundup with nothing but solid, good information for you. Okay, so here's the scoop on forbearance. A lot of y'all are commenting in the comments that your bank does not want to allow you to have your payments be moved to the end of the loan. Like, there's a letter circulating from Wells Fargo that says you got to take a second loan on your house, or you got to pay it all back with a balloon payment, and all this like fearful stuff. Basically, the banks are trying to screw you. They do not want you to take mortgage forbearance. Most federally backed and conventional loans are required to have their borrowers have the option of either paying the money up front if you want to, or putting the money at the back end of your loan starting, wait for it, July 1st. This is why banks are being hardcore now, because they're trying to prevent as many people as possible from requesting forbearance. But once July 1st comes around, they can't tell you anymore that you can't make the payments basically be repaid at the end of the loan. Here's some more details. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are requiring that all lenders allow borrowers who had a loan financed through Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac, basically a conventional loan, defer their payments up to 12 months and then add those missed payments to the end of the loan starting July 1st. If you've had an FHA loan, you can extend the loan, stretch it out, or pay off the past due amounts in a lump sum all the way at the end of the loan. If you have a VA or USDA loan, you can also extend the loan term or defer the payments to the end. Now, last, for retirement. So basically, for the two of you left watching this video, and probably the one of you who's in retirement right now, if you have taken your required minimum distribution from your 401k plan, your 403b plan, or individual retirement account, if you want to, you can pay it back into your account before August 31st, and you don't have to withdraw that money and pay taxes on it this year. So if you don't want to take the distribution, you actually don't have to. You can put it back. Now check with your CPA, check with your professionals. On all of these, I'm just a dude on YouTube who's off.
Thank you guys for stopping by and seeing what I'm up to. Please do like, share, and subscribe. I am, like I said, moving more onto comedy, so my next video this evening will definitely be funny. Bye-bye.